What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the latest episode of The Layup.Line. I am back with another episode in my OKC The Timeline series. As you know by the title and thumbnail, today's video is focused on OKC's 2021 draft selections. I went back to my post-draft reactions to see how my thoughts on each of these rookies has changed, if at all. Going to go in reverse order on each of these rookies, sprinkling in some film to get my point across. Let's start with the 55th overall pick, Aaron Wiggins from Maryland. There was already a lot of buzz that Aaron Wiggins would be the guy to continue the streak of OKC converting their two-way players onto actual roster spots, and Wiggins has looked on pace to join Lou Dort and Moses Brown as potential diamonds in the rough found by their scouting team. Wiggins has legitimately earned his minutes, and he's even got a starting role lately, which is kind of reminding me how Lou Dort broke onto the scene. Wiggins isn't the defender that Dort was at the time, but I think he has more offensive potential than Dort. I mean, look at him do this. The timely double for the steal, and then the finesse in transition to finish it. OKC is trusting him with tough defensive assignments that Dort doesn't have the height for. His overall three-point shooting numbers aren't great, but he's pretty knocked down from the corners and getting quality catch-and-shoot looks. He's kind of reminded me of a poor man's Otto Porter from his Wizard days. You have to respect his jumper, and he can do a few things attacking the weak side after a closeout, which is a legit role player. An amazing value pick at 55, and there's a small sample, so there is a world where this goes the way of Theo Maledon and we see him more in the G League next season, but I recommend investing in Aaron Wiggins stock. Next up is 32nd pick out of Villanova, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, otherwise known as JRE. Robinson-Earl has been exactly what the scouting report said he would be. A pretty nice role player. He screens well, cuts well, and plays with a lot of feel. I like him as a screener, and he's very active cutting off ball. OKC has needed him to function as a stretch big, a role he's yet to grow into, still struggling from three-point and mid-range. Robinson is still earning a starting role, but he's a mixed bag when he's out on the court. As an undersized 5, he doesn't finish great around the basket, and he has some shooting potential, but he isn't quite there. Thankfully, this franchise isn't chasing wins, so they have the space to be more experimental with him. I like what he gives you as an energy guy and a ball movement guy, but it's clear this team needs a spacing option and a lob threat, two things that he doesn't do enough of. Even if JRE isn't the perfect pick, I like the selection because the only guy selected behind him that you might want with similar size is Herb Jones in New Orleans. Next we have 18th pick Tre Mann out of Florida. Mann was honestly a bit of an afterthought on draft night and the preseason. He missed Summer League for personal reasons and started the year on the bench and in the G League, but he's done some very impressive things to earn him more court time. He's easily the team's most dynamic shooter and a pretty explosive athlete. At his best, he's reminded me a bit of Anthony Simons, who's in the middle of a breakout season for the Trailblazers. Trey isn't a pass-first player, but his off-the-dribble game is good enough to collapse defenses, and he can make smart reads combined with good movement from his team. Players in this mold come down to realizing squeezing the most efficiency out of their looks. On the high end of this spectrum, we see Kyrie Irving and Damian Lillard, with maybe a CJ McCollum a step or two below that. But if you're not efficient enough with that, you get the shot chucker reputation like Jordan Clarkson, Dion Waiters, or a Nick Young type. Still too early to tell which way Tre Mann swings on that spectrum, but on this team that needs shooting and also is giving the guys the chance to grow, I would not mind a few more shots going Mann's way. Finally, what you have all been waiting for, or skipped to the end to watch, the 6th pick out of the Australia NBL, Josh Giddey. My biggest Josh Giddey question pre-draft was what position would he play? 40 games into his career, and OKC's answer seems to be shooting guard, as this is the position he's played a majority of his time. When I did my mid-season check-in on the team, I generally pointed out how similar Giddy's stats are to rookie Lonzo Ball or Ricky Rubio. Giddy's got more size than those players, and watching him use that to his advantage around the basket is making me think of him more as a Sabonis or Bam Adebayo type. He is closer to those guys in height than he is to Rubio, which leads me to believe he would make more sense as a post playmaker for OKC in the half court. The Ben Simmons point guard experiment in Philly has had me especially worried about giving such huge on-ball creation responsibility to a player that struggles to create for themselves with the ball in their hand. I think that model has diminishing returns. Until he can threaten defenses from out top with some pull-up shooting or more frequent bursts to the rim, why not weaponize him as a short roll passer or as a handoff machine facilitating offenses from the post? And when the team gets transition opportunities, let Josh lead and make the right read. I'm not saying I don't think he can ever be a guard. Guys like LaMelo and Doncic prove that a big point guard can be possible, but their decision-making and scoring ability from the perimeter is what opens that up. Not to mention that there is a bit of an athleticism gap that Josh has to overcome against a lot of NBA wings. He recently had a career scoring night in Dallas, showing that he may be figuring out ways to do that, which will be the most important thing to monitor as the season progresses. What can Giddy add to help him threaten defenses on his own? This feels more negative than I want it to come off, as Josh will clearly be making the all-rookie team, but I just have some issues with his usage right now. I see him more of a playmaking four than a guard, or if he is going to be put in that position, I think the front office should get a lob threat and some spacing so that he gets more chances to make decisions while not staring at a packed paint with a rim protector working. He has great size and a sense for rebounding. It's a very small sample size, but when looking at his net rating per position, he's best at the four. Overall, this was a successful draft for Oklahoma City. Draft lottery night didn't go as hoped, but to end the night with 4 guys that look worth keeping past the rookie deal is quite the accomplishment. I look forward to checking back in at the end of the year, as sometimes first-year players hit a rookie wall playing their first 82-game NBA season. I'd expect some guys on OKC scouting team to get poached by other front offices if they keep this kind of a track record up. That's all I have for you in this one. I really appreciate it if you made it to the end. If you missed it, I recently did a video looking into the Memphis Grizzlies and how they managed a 3-year rebuild. If videos like that and this one interest you, subscribe to be notified when new videos drop, and leave a like and a comment to help the YouTube algorithm share this channel with other NBA fans. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.